Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zishan Rizvi, Leadership Wala from Rehan AI Teacher Training Institute, Batch 21. Today, I have a great opportunity to discuss with GPT about understanding the basics of financial independence. Good morning, GPT.
Good morning, Zeshan. I'm really glad you're bringing this topic to your audience. I'm ready to dive into the basics with you. Just let me know the first question you have and we'll get started.
Sure. What does financial independence truly mean to you beyond just money?
That's a great question. Financial independence at its core means having the freedom to make choices without being driven solely by financial necessity. So it's not just about having a large bank balance, it's about having enough passive income or resources so that work becomes optional. For example, it could mean you've built investments or side income that cover your living expenses, giving you the power to pursue work you love, spend time with family, or even retire early.
At what point can someone confidently say they are financially independent?
That's a really important milestone to define. Generally, people consider themselves financially independent when their passive income, like from investments, rental properties, or other sources, consistently covers all their necessary expenses. For example, if you know your monthly costs like housing, food, healthcare are all met by income streams not tied to a job, that's a strong sign. It really depends on your lifestyle and comfort level, but once that safety net is consistent, you can call it independence.
All right. And why do so many people struggle to achieve financial independence?
Yeah, that's a big one. A lot of people struggle because they either lack a clear plan, don't have enough savings to start investing, or they get caught up in lifestyle inflation. Basically, their spending rises as their income rises. Also, there's often a lack of financial literacy. People just don't know the steps to invest or optimize their money. So it takes time, discipline, and a bit of financial education.
And how does mindset impact your journey toward financial freedom?
Mindset is huge. If you see money as a tool rather than a source of stress or just something to chase, you're much more likely to stay disciplined and intentional. A growth mindset helps you see setbacks as learning opportunities and it keeps you motivated. For example, instead of thinking, I can't afford this, you start thinking, how can I adjust my habits to get there? So your mindset really shapes both your persistence and your decisions.
All right. And what are the first three steps someone should take toward financial independence?
Great question. First, I'd say start with a solid budget. Get really clear on your income and expenses so you know where your money goes. Second, build an emergency fund. Aim for 3 to 6 months of living expenses so you have a safety net. And third, start investing consistently, whether it's in retirement accounts, index funds, or other vehicles, so your money starts working for you.
All right. Is financial independence more about earning more or managing better?
It's really a balance of both. Earning more definitely accelerates the process, like getting a raise or starting a side hustle, but managing your money wisely is just as crucial. If you keep expenses low, avoid debt, and invest consistently, you don't need a massive income to get there. So it's really about smart money habits plus increasing income over time.
How important is budgeting in achieving long term financial goals?
Budgeting is absolutely vital. It's like the foundation of any long term financial goal because it keeps you accountable. When you know exactly how much you earn and spend, you can identify areas to save, invest more, and stay on track. Without a budget, it's easy to lose sight of your progress.
What role does saving play compared to investing?
Yes, saving and investing work hand in hand, but they have different roles. Saving gives you security, like your emergency fund or short term goals, while investing is how you grow wealth over time. Saving is best for stability and liquidity, but investing is what outpaces inflation and builds long term income. So both are essential, just at different points in your journey.
Can anyone achieve financial independence regardless of income level?
In most cases, yes, though it takes different strategies depending on income. If you have a lower income, it often means being more intentional about minimizing expenses and prioritizing small but consistent savings. If you have a higher income, you have more leeway to invest aggressively. So it's about discipline and making smart choices, not just your salary.
What are the most common myth about financial independence?
One big myth is that you need a huge salary to achieve it, when really it's more about consistency and living below your means. Another myth is that it happens quickly, one big investment boom, but in reality, it's often decades of steady, intentional saving and investing. So it's a marathon, not a sprint.
How does that affect your path to financial freedom?
Debt can really slow you down because it's like a chain. Interest payments eat into your money, making it harder to save and invest. So when you reduce or eliminate debt, you free up cash flow. That means more money can go to investing and building long term wealth, which accelerates your path to independence.
Okay. And what habits separate financial independence individuals from others?
A few standout habits really set them apart. First, they live below their means. They consistently save and avoid lifestyle inflation. Second, they invest regularly, even if it's a small amount. They're committed to growth. And third, they keep learning. They stay informed about personal finance, adjusting strategies as their goals evolve. That consistency and discipline really make the difference.
How early should one start planning for
Honestly,
financial independence?
exactly. The earlier, the better. Even if you're just starting with small amounts, beginning in your 20s or 30s gives your money time to grow. But it's never too late. If you start today, you still have a chance to build a solid foundation.
All right. And what role does passive income play in achieving financial freedom?
Passive income is really a cornerstone of financial freedom. Instead of trading time for money, passive income, like from investments, royalties, or rental properties, keeps flowing in. That's what gives you the freedom to step back from a job or choose how you spend your time. It's like a financial engine that works even when you're not.
All right. And how can a small daily financial decisions impact long-term wealth?
They have a huge impact, actually. Small daily choices like skipping a daily coffee, cooking at home, or automating a small investment add up over time. With compounding, even modest daily savings grow into a much bigger sum. So it's all about those consistent, mindful choices adding up.
What are some beginner-friendly investment options to explore?
Great question. For beginners, index funds are a fantastic place to start. They offer broad market exposure with low fees. You can also look at robo advisors, which build a simple portfolio for you, or consider a target date retirement fund. Those are super straightforward. Just start small, stay consistent, and build from there.
How do lifestyle choices influence financial independence?
They have a massive impact. The lifestyle you choose, like where you live, how you spend your money, or what you prioritize, can either accelerate your progress or delay it. If you keep lifestyle modest and focus on saving and investing, you free up more money to grow your wealth. But if you constantly inflate your lifestyle, it can keep you on a treadmill and slow you down.
Is sacrificing today comfort necessary for tomorrow's freedom?
It's a balance, really. Some short term comfort sacrifices, like limiting big purchases or scaling back on luxuries, can really accelerate your long term freedom. But it's also important not to deprive yourself completely. You want to enjoy the journey just with mindful balance, so future comfort is possible.
How can financial literacy change someone's life trajectory?
Financial literacy is a game changer because it gives you control. When you understand how money works, things like budgeting, investing, and debt management, you make informed choices. That can mean avoiding financial traps, building wealth over time, and having the confidence to pursue big goals. So it really transforms the future.
What are the risks of not planning for financial independence?
Yeah, the risks can be pretty serious. Without a plan, you might rely too much on just a paycheck, leaving you vulnerable to emergencies or job loss. You risk accumulating debt, missing out on compounding growth, and in worst cases, you might have to work much longer than you'd like. So, planning is really your safety net.
How can technology and apps support financial management?
Technology is a total game changer. Budgeting apps help you track spending and set goals. Investment platforms make it easy to build and diversify your portfolio. And even automated savings apps can round up your purchases or set aside money. So, these tools keep you organized, accountable, and on track.
And what does a financially independent retirement look like?
It really depends on the person, but typically it means having enough passive income to cover your lifestyle. So you have the freedom to choose what you do with your time. You're not tied to a specific job or schedule. You might be working on passion projects, traveling, or just enjoying time with family. It's about having that flexibility and peace of mind.
And how do cultural and societal expectations affect financial goals?
They can have a huge influence. Society often pushes us towards certain milestones, like owning a big house, driving a fancy car, and that can distract us from what truly matters to us or what actually helps us build wealth. So when you stay true to your values and your own timeline, you're more likely to make financial decisions that serve your long term goals, not just external pressure.
What advice would you give your younger self about money?
I'd say start early and be consistent. Even small amounts invested early on grow massively over time. I'd also say don't let fear of mistakes hold you back. Just keep learning, track your progress, and stay focused on the long term vision.
What is one financial habit you can start today to move closer to independence?
I'd say automate your savings. Set up a recurring transfer right after payday so a portion of your income goes directly into savings or investments. It's simple, but it builds that habit and keeps you moving forward without having to think about it.
Excellent, GPT. Thank you very much for your today's session. It was very knowledgeable, and it is benefited. It will be benefited to me and to my viewers. And hope to touch base again with you with new questions, new subjects. Until then, goodbye. Have a very wonderful day.
I'm really glad it was helpful for you, Zeshan. Thank you so much for the kind words, and I'm excited to hear from you next time. Take care and have a fantastic day.